Green flag back in the air. Shaver brings him back down to the stripe. Lanigan going to fall in to second. Francis in third. Here comes Bloomquist. He's going to look to the inside of Francis as they come out of turn 2, but he can't pull the trigger. And I'm going to tell you what, McDowell was shot out of a cannon off of 2.
So's Davenport. He is now working the high side of Bloomer at turn number 4. Jonathan Davenport will now try the crisscross out of that corner. Doesn't pay off. He'll go right back in the tire tracks. McDowell and Madden, they go 3 wide with Rick Eckert in turn number 1. They are going after it.
Here comes Madden. He has turned the wick up, folks.
Imagine that. We're 3/4 of the way through and Chris Madden's coming. We saw this last year. Will it be a repeat performance? We'll have to wait and see. Shaver has pulled Darrell Lanigan. Steve Shaver may have just said, okay, I've saved a lot. You guys didn't know it.
This is amazing. I mean, to see this car do this many laps in, 76 laps now in the books. Lanigan, great battle for the 3rd spot. Francis having to deal with Bloomquist. And Davenport, Fager, Madden, and Eckert all working each other.
I'll tell you what, Steve Shaver has got himself a rocket ship right now. As the battle continues for the number 3 spot, Bloomquist to the inside of Francis. Nothing doing down the front stretch. He'll tuck back in line, go right back to work in turn number 1. There's still some movers and shakers in this field. Richards going to work on McDowell to try and grab the number 9 spot. He'll do it out of 2.
And he does. Looks well. You say that, and now McDowell up on the outside. Here comes Bud McCool, and as we talk, here comes Austin Hubbard.
I tell you, these guys are getting after it. You go over into turn number 1, 4 cars under a blanket covert. Hubbard, Chubb, Frank, McCool. McCool goes by Hubbard. Chubb goes after McDowell, and it's all Steve Shaver all the time up front.
The one thing, Bud McCool is used to slicked over racetracks, being from Mississippi. This may be just up his alley. If he pulls the trigger fast enough, up on the high side, got a little squirrely, he'll back down just a bit. Austin Hubbard will take the spot back.
Yeah, Bud McCool's got himself a handful of steering wheel right now. He sawed on it all the way through turns 1 and 2. Car just totally got away from him. He's reeled it back in. Lost a lot of real estate in a couple positions with the exchange of that steering wheel. Darrell Lanigan's got a ton of room now between himself and Francis for second, but he is losing sight of Steve Shaver.
Shaver pulling away now from Lanigan. Francis still having to deal with Bloomquist. That's a great battle for 3rd. Davenport right behind him. Fager, Madden, and Eckert. There's a little bit of gap back to the battle for 9th and 10th with Josh Richards and McDowell. You got Chubb, Frank, and Austin Hubbard sitting 11th and 12th.
Fager just took 5th away from Davenport out of turn 2. Well, once again, look at the rear spoiler of the 0 of Bloomquist and the 15 of Francis. So Fager made a good move out of 2, paid huge dividends, got him the spot, trying to get a little bit further in the running order as 83 go on the scoreboard, 17 to go. And Steve Shaver right now is comfortable as can be.
9th on back, or stacked up like highway traffic at 5 p.m. And Davenport just gave Fager a little chrome horn, as they call it.
Yeah, and Madden just went by Davenport. They did a little pleasantries over in turn number 3, and he has cleared him now, so Chris Madden is on the move. He's really going to have to go because Shaver is in another zip code right now. He has left Darrell Lanigan, and he'll be able to see the rear of the field here in just another circuit or 2 and even work on him if we stay green with 15 to go.
Tough day. Jarrett Landers is falling back to 22nd place. Shaver closing in on him. Almost a full straightaway back to Darrell Lanigan.
Things are settling down now as far as drivers throwing elbows. They're hitting their lines, picking and choosing the groove that works. Bloomquist still trying to figure out Steve Francis for 3rd. Madden now going after Fager. There's Davenport after Madden. Just when you say things settle down, business picks up.
Davenport all over the back of Madden as they head down into turn 3 and out of 4. Francis has a back deck lid full of Bloomquist as they head back into turn 1, and Bloomquist just can't figure a way to the inside of Francis right now.
Francis has been a busy man this afternoon, going for the lead early, then trying to hold off Lanigan. Wasn't successful in that, and now has to hold off Bloomquist with just 12 laps to go.
Shaver doing a fantastic job here tonight. 89 laps on the board, 11 laps left here in the Commonwealth 100, the Napa of King William Commonwealth 100, $25,000 on the line, and we will know who'll get that check in 10 laps.
And right now, as it sits, David, your Neininger Tire and Auto top three sit this way. Leader Steve Shaver would get the extra bonus of $250. Second would be the 44 of Chris Madden, the $150, and the $100 to Jonathan Davenport. Of course, still 10 laps to go, but right now the Neininger Tire and Auto bonus for the regional drivers goes that way, as your leader, Steve Shaver, just out for a Sunday afternoon drive. And guess what, Dave? It is Sunday afternoon. It finally worked. I finally get to say it worked.
I am very impressed with Shaver's run. You know, being out front, I guess you can conserve a little bit better than you normally would. You wouldn't think so. Everybody was pushing him there for a while.
Well, they always say it's one thing to catch a driver. It's a whole nother thing to pass him, and that rang true totally here this afternoon. Oh, and Madden drifted up the bank, and Davenport went right by him. Madden was going after Fager, lost the spot to Davenport. Now Davenport attacked Fager. Madden's back after Davenport. We've got 7 laps to go. They're not giving up here in the top 5. Shaver all the while working on the number 39 of McCready, trying to put him, the first car, a lap down. And Scott Bloomquist, who cleared Steve Francis, now sets his sights on Lanigan with what will be 5 to go. Lanigan will be under attack from the Voodoo Child. The 5 to go signal is given for Steve Shaver. Bloomquist closes in on the 29 of Lanigan. Davenport has caught Francis, so still battles on the racetrack with just 4 to go. It's all Shaver all the time, but second is up for grabs, fourth is up for grabs, and Davenport's going after Francis now for 4th. Can't make it happen out of turn number 2.
Three laps to go. Laps are winding down. Shaver working lap traffic. Lanigan right now able to hold off Scott Bloomquist. Steve Francis now has his hands full with Jonathan Davenport.
And that's a pair of Barry Wright race cars going at it for the number 4 spot. The 2 to go signal is given. White flag the next time by for Steve Shaver as, Chris Madden and the 25 of Fager. They have decided to go at it tooth and nail with 2 to go. And Fager's gonna pay the price and spin in turn 2. Keeps it going. He keeps it going. He keeps it going. We're staying white flag. We're gonna finish this. Jason Fager recovered.
Bloomquist gets by Lanigan.
Lanigan
coming back.
This is it. Oh, trouble on Clan. He's off the pace. Checkered flag is gonna wave. Shaver's gonna win the Commonwealth 100.